My name is Ashwin Krishan. I am the Director of Disruptive Innovation and Incubation within Orange, where we try to evaluate new technologies, new operating models with which we can transform the company as well as our customers. I've always felt that STEMs, the science, technology, engineering, and maths, are critical skills for developing the human brain. I was very fortunate when I was young to be exposed to this. And I think this is a crucial aspect which brings a scientific temper among children, which is important for their development, growth, as well as for the well being of society. Well, I think mostly people have been focusing on just the computer skills as STEM, but for me, STEM goes way beyond that. So, understanding chemistry, understanding physics, understanding biology are extremely important. Along with that, the amount of information which we are getting over the time has increased so much. And like when I was in school, Pluto was a planet. When I started to go to college, it wasn't. So time changes and information changes. And so it's important for us to start getting all that into in place. And since the amount of information and the granularity of information is increasing, we need to get that to children sooner in a way that it's enjoyable, in a way that it is fun. So as a father of two daughters, I can say this. I feel very strongly that we need to have a more inclusive workforce and they need to come from all stratas of society. The challenge which I see is in most on the engineering disciplines, not just computers, even if you look at mechanical engineering and other areas, the intake of women has been significantly low. And if I look back to my country, India, it's been true there. When I came to Switzerland, surprisingly, it was also true over here. We need to start getting the environment ready for all kids, for girls, for boys, to be excited about these topics, to be encouraged to pick them up. And that needs to start happening at a much younger age than what is being done today. I think the rate at which science is growing and is evolving is so fast that our academic curriculum, it's not possible for them to be keeping up to pace. The curriculum today is designed to be standard across the whole spectrum of students which is there, and by the time they have to update themselves to be ready, it becomes extremely difficult because the deluge of information is so high. So that's the key challenge which I feel in the traditional uh, education curriculum, which limits the knowledge and the disbursement of STEM skills. This is a double edged sword for companies. If I look at it, companies are facing the shortage of skilled workers day in and day out. But the problem is that investing in this requires a long term return. If I invest in developing STEM skills now, at the bare minimum, I can expect returns in 3 to 5 years. So it's a big challenge and a dichotomy for them to be working. And the companies which are able to realize this and are able to invest this and have the courage and the long sightedness, the future vision to invest in that, will probably be the ones which win this war. Because it's not just about dispersing the skills, it's also about imbibing the brand and the affinity towards a new workforce, towards working over there. So if I limit that answer, I can't speak about the broad spread of STEM skills because I work in computers and in IT technology, and it's this is an area where the impact of data of AI ML is extremely important. So the more we have skills around maths or around statistics and those fundamentals over there, that will be key for people to be able to work with data. There are three levels which I would say that first, for parents of these kids, get them interested in STEM and not just the boring part. There's so much with which you can make people excited about science, about astrophysics, about physics, about chemistry, about maths. Each one of them, There's a boring way to learn and there's an interesting way to learn. And once you get hooked onto the interesting way, that will be great. The second part for students is there's one very key thing which is required for STEM, and that is curiosity. Be curious, be open minded, because whatever you know now is based on a certain set, but there could be adaptations towards that. And as long as you keep that open mind and curiosity, that hunger to learn, you're on the journey towards your STEM education. First and most important thing, STEM education is not just computers or programming, it's one small part of it. Be holistic about it. Be holistic about introducing children to chemistry, to physics, to engineering, and also to technology as well as software. I think that combination is going to be extremely important. What I loved about some of the courses, like what Little Scientists gave, was on robotics, which is a little bit of coding, a little bit of technology, a little bit of mechanical, a little bit of all of these coming together. And that kind of exposure is extremely key for an overall well developed STEM individual. Well, that's a very difficult question. What I can say is that uh, you can start children to get excited about STEM, about science, technology, engineering, and maths from a very young age. A little game like Jenga will teach them about a lot of engineering principles. You can extend that across all ages. And you don't need to become a scientist, even as a philosopher, even as what economist or whatever job you pick up. Building a scientific temper in society, in children, is extremely important.